Good evening and welcome to the final bulletin of the Solent Sports News. Here are all the latest sporting updates. England's World Cup dreams are still alive. Fans were delighted as beers were chucked in the air and songs were sung following Gareth Southgate's side performance as they beat Senegal 3-0. England will face a much sterner opposition as they play France on Saturday, a game which the fans are looking forward to. Neil Malik is live for us in Southampton right now. Neil, has the city settled back to the normal yet?
Yes, Sid, it might be very cold and freezing here in England, but the Three Lions are in hot form. England are in the quarterfinals of the World Cup, and they are just 3 hurdles away from bringing glory back home. Well, we caught up with few fans in Southampton city centre. We caught up to see what they're feeling against the big game against the defending world champions, France, on Saturday.
Once Henderson got back into his natural position, the game opened up a lot more. And yeah, I think we deserve the win.
Played really well, to be honest, but still a few things needed if we want to beat France in the next round.
That first goal changed the whole match, and after that I think England took control of the game.
Well, England might be facing the defending world champions and also a team in form, and also the hottest topic in football right now, Kylian Mbappe. But we did see very confident fans for England as they believe that football might finally come home. Our correspondent Malhar Desai spoke to a sports journalist to have his view on the game on Saturday.
England has been facing a lot of teams in this World Cup, but now it's the face-off time. England is facing France this Saturday, and France seemed to be in a good position.
But with France, you have, I think, probably the world's best player at the moment in Kylian Mbappe. And alongside him, you have Antoine Griezmann and Olivier Giroud, who scored last night against Poland. And France's record goal scorer is incredibly underrated. England may be slight underdogs, but I think the way they're playing, they can go into it with real confidence.
I think going forward we looked all right. So as long as we keep Mbappe quiet, and I think Kyle Walker's probably the man to do it, then who knows? And if we beat France, we're off to the final. We're not stopping.
Yeah, daring to dream.
Daring to dream always. Coming home.
Coming home. That's it.
Mbappe versus Walker will be a crucial encounter, if you like, on Saturday. And if Mbappe gets the better of that one, then France have got great chances. If Walker gets the better of it, then England have got great chances. So yeah, it is a very important battle, but no one's got the perfect antidote to a player as good as that. England will just be hoping they can at least block him out enough to get the game going their way.
Confident. I think we can score goals. We're pretty solid at the back. Harry Maguire.
Yeah, ish.
He's good.
Teams they've played so far, you would not have expected them to lose to any of those. I think my thinking might have been different had Sadio Mane been fit to play for Senegal. I think he was a huge miss for them, really. That was a real blow to their chances. The world-class striker who can frighten any defence in the world. Interestingly enough, I think the game on Saturday is one of the few, it might even be the first, where England go into a major tournament and you think they're probably not going to, they're not going to win this. Not a serious one. I mean, the Belgian one was a third-place playoff. It was a group game when England were already through. So England will go into this as underdogs. And if they pull off the win against such a strong French side, the current world champions.
A lot of fans has to say that if England win against France, the cup's coming home.
France are a tough team. We really need to step it up.
100%.
We can do it.
Definitely.
We can do it. England can do it. We believe.
Mbappe who? Mbappe who? When you got Kyle Walker and Trippier, Mbappe who?
The real deal, I'd wait on that. I'd wait to see what they do against France.
Let's see what Team England has to say on this Saturday. It's face-off.
Les Bleus might be having that crown and they might be proudly boasting that. The world champions are also just 3 hurdles away from defending their crown. But in front of them is a hungry Three Lions team. Both teams haven't lost a game and both teams would like to finish on a high. Well, we can all expect the old rivalry which reunites on Saturday that we can have a humdinger of a game. It's France versus England, 2 European giants, and all we can expect is a big game on a weekend. Sadly enough, just one amongst the 2 European giants can actually make it to the last 4. We as English fans, we do believe that the Three Lions have everything to go to the last hurdle. Back to you, Sid, in the studio.
Thank you for that, Neil. Talking more about the World Cup, there is a live game going on right now. Croatia is taking on Japan in a crucial round of 16 clash, and in studio with us is Kyle to give an update and also talk about the Brazil game later on.
Thank you, Sid. The match between Croatia and Japan has been end-to-end from the start, with both teams having chances. However, it was Japan who took the lead in the first half through a training corner routine, from the ball falling to Dyson Maida off Celtic to score the opener for the Samurai Blues. Croatia were able to grab an equaliser in the second half through Tottenham man Ivan Perisic, as he got on the end of a Dejan Lovren cross to equalise. The game is finally poised at 1-1 with only a few minutes left in the match. Moving on later today, we have Brazil versus South Korea. Group of death survivors, some would call South Korea. The South American side, though, are going into this match as heavy favourites, but the Tigok Warriors will not be as smooth sailing as some may think. South Korea head coach Paulo Bento has a history of Brazilian football when coaching Brazilian side Cruzeiro back in 2016. Will South Korea cause an upset later on? We can only find out. We can only wait to find out. That's all the World Cup for you now, Sid. Back to you.
Thank you, Kyle. Cristiano Ronaldo may have found a new club who are willing to pay him 200 million euros a year. This offer has been made by Saudi Arabian team Al Nassr, but Ronaldo has already stated he won't be thinking about his future until the end of the World Cup. Raheem Sterling is returning home from England's World Cup campaign in Qatar after intruders broke into his residence in Surrey. Sterling's family were not present at the time of the incident and were unharmed. Manager Gareth Southgate fully supports the Chelsea man's decision to be with his family in an unfamiliar situation, although him returning could be on the cards, which would solely depend on the situation. Southampton women secured a last-minute draw against the championship leaders yesterday. Saints women equalised late with an injury time penalty from 20-year-old Paige Peake versus London City Lionesses. This result keeps the Southampton women in the title fight with only 2 points of the league leaders. England have beaten Pakistan in the first test at Rawalpindi. In pursuit of 343, Baba Azam's men fell 74 runs short against the Three Lions. Ollie Robinson was the star of the show for England with figures of 4 for 50 in the second innings. Robinson was also named the player of the match. Now from the England's men's cricket team to the women's cricket team. The team started their Caribbean tour with a bang as they defeated the West Indies by 142 runs. Batting first, the English team set a target of 308 as Ned Scavier scored 90 runs. In a shocking turn of events, India lost to Bangladesh in the first ODI. Put into bat, India were all out for 186. In reply, the hosts collapsed to 136 for 9. However, tailender Mehendi Hasan Miraz produced a sensational 39-ball 38-run cameo to take his team home. The Australian cricket team started their series against the West Indies in style. After setting a target of 515 runs for the tourists in the fourth innings, Nathan Lyon picked up 6 wickets to restrict them to 333 runs. Tyson Fury is still the WBC champion. The Gypsy King beat Derek Chisora in the 10th round by technical knockout. The WBC champion dominated the fight, and fans expected an earlier stoppage from the referee. Fury now looks ahead to his next fight with potential opponents in Alexander Usyk and Joe Joyce.
People have been asking me all night, like, who's a tougher fight, Usyk or Joyce? And in my opinion, Usyk's a slicker boxer, but Joe Joyce is a juggernaut. And I think that Joe gives me a tougher fight than Usyk, 100%. Big Joe, 6'7" and 19.5 stone, like a juggernaut coming forward at me, trying to smash me to pieces, or Usyk trying to steal a jab running around the ring, trying to nick a point here and there. So I think that Usyk's a very good fighter. I'm not going to take anything away from him. He's the undisputed cruiserweight champion.
And finally, have you heard of quad ball? No? Then maybe you have heard by its more well-known name, Quidditch, a sports based off the popular Harry Potter franchise. It is now played over 35 registered clubs in the UK. To tell us more is sports reporter Erin Dungan.
This is Southampton Common, home to many local teams who train here, one of which is Southampton Quadball Club. Quadball was adapted from the well-known fictional game Quidditch in 2005 into a highly competitive, full-contact and mixed-gender sport. Coach of Southampton Quadball and England player Michael Orridge explained how quadball is a mix of many other popular sports.
So with keepers chasers, they're playing a kind of a handball rugby mix where they're trying to score through a hoop. In beaters, they're playing a lot of like a dodgeball game where you're trying to throw balls at each other and knock people out of the game for a certain amount of time. And then seekers are kind of doing like a wrestling thing with a snitch trying to grab a sock out of somebody's like thing coming out of the pants at the back.
With quad ball being a fairly unknown sport in the UK, many players don't get into it through the traditional pathways.
It was last Freshers' Fair, and last year the club had a very charismatic captain, and his speech at the fair, just as we were walking by, convinced us to come along to the taste sessions, and it was so fun, we've never looked back.
I got into quad ball through a friend who's been playing it last year. He invited me along to one of the taster sessions, and I expected, a bit of fun, and then I ended up I haven't left.
Although quad ball isn't as popular as other sports in the UK, there are still highly competitive leagues that take place, leagues that Southampton Quad Ball Club often top.
So we have the Community League who play 3 times during the summer, and then they have rankings. The rankings of that will then go towards European competitions. And for the Uni League, we have two splits. We have the Southern split and the Northern split. And then the rankings after that, qualifiers for EQC Division 2, which is a 2-day tournament where you play to become the British champions.
So, what is so exciting about playing quad ball?
I think it's the community. Because it's quite a tight-knit community, there's not many teams. We're kind of personal friends with the other players, on the team, but also in the different university teams and even the community teams in the area.
I enjoy the fact that it gets me outside. It's quite different from other sports. I like the contact side of it, but I'm not contact enough to be playing rugby. It's just a different sport that's kind of more out there.
Just give it a try. It's a sport, so you get all the benefits of doing your fitness out of it. It's a very nice community. We're not just set teams like you'd get with other sports where you only talk to your team. I know people all around the UK from this, and it's just one huge community.
The University Quad Ball League is currently in an off-season, but the Southampton Quad Ball Club will be playing again in February, hoping to retain their title.
So that is all from Solent Sports News today. See you all next week. Goodbye.